Welcome back to Clarity Farms. Today I thought I'd kind of give you guys an update on our kidding season. So I know a couple months ago I kind of gave you guys a summary of our breeding season and kind of our plan on what we were going to do. And now that it's a few months later, all of our mamas have had their babies and it's kind of the end of kidding season. And for those of you that are new here or new to goats, kidding season is pretty much just when all your moms, have had all their baby goats that are also known as kids. So Cookie over here actually had 3 babies. Unfortunately, one of them didn't make it. All of her babies are actually right here. This is Deanie. This is from last year. But these 2 boys right here were hers, and this one already has a buyer, an owner, and we're actually weathering that one right there just for numbers sake so that we can rotate our pastures with fair numbers, so that because goats can't be alone. So making sure that there's a goat for everybody. But next year, I think this one right here was with one of our newer bucks. He was younger and he didn't really get interested until the end, so I think she got missed. So we plan on breeding her here soon too. And now that Deanie, Cookie's baby from last year, is a little bit older, I think we'll be able to breed her next year as well. But to kind of finish up, we actually have 2 of Latte's babies back there. I don't know if they're easily visible where you're at right now, but Latte had 2 really healthy babies. A male that was like huge. I've never seen a baby so big. And then Mocha, the female, which we also plan on keeping. So she was the only one that had a female this year, which sucks because we really wanted to keep our females this year and kind of grow our herd. But lastly, Miss Corella, whose head is actually stuck through the fence right now, had 1 baby who we named Rolly, which is another male. So, and he was just born, that's why he looks so much smaller, but he already has a buyer as well. And all of our goats actually have a home, whether it's here or somewhere else already, and they're getting picked up at the end of this week. Cookies are, and then Latte's babies will be getting picked up at the end of this week as well, actually. So they're all about to leave, and then Mr. Rolly over here, he's still got a couple more weeks with us, so he can continue to get big and strong. But that's kind of just a little bit of an update on where we're at, and I thought I would give you guys kind of some tips and tricks on how to keep your babies healthy, some things that we didn't know that definitely would have been useful to know when we started out. So let's get into that. So a couple quick tips that really would have helped us when we first started having baby goats on our farm. I think number 1 would be having a place that they can get outside of elements. So if this is just a place in the pasture, a good structure or shelter that they have, that definitely works. Most ideal would be a barn, but even a place in your garage, somewhere that maybe you can have a heat lamp for if it's cold or if they're underdeveloped, a place that they can get outside of rain, maybe snuggle into straw, anything like that. So just a place that they can have definitely helps. I know that a lot of the females will seclude themselves kind of away from the herd. Maybe even a couple days before they're about to have their kids, they'll kind of separate themselves from the herd. This is natural in the wild as well, but they'll go, and we even put them in our barn and they're away from the herd a couple of days. This kind of gives them time to bond to their babies, eat their placenta, and if we have to do anything else to the mothers just to kind of booster them, or if we have to do something to the kids, just having a place that's secluded. You don't have to deal with all the sorry, a fly hit me in the face. You don't have to deal with all the other goats surrounding you. I know ours are very lovey-dovey, so if we were to go try to sit with, a female while they're having their babies, all the other goats would be right there being super nosy. So having a place that's secluded and outside of the environment, I think would be very, very helpful. Another thing that really helped us was finding out what a selenium deficiency was. I know when Cookie first had her babies, one of her babies for the first couple days couldn't walk. It was very, I guess you could say, sickly. It was kind of weaker than the other ones. She had 3 babies then, and I think it's pretty common, especially depending on where you're at in America or where you're at in the world, depending on your soil and everything like that, what minerals they're getting play into it. But a selenium deficiency really causes them to not be able to walk on their back legs. They can't stand, and this leads them to not being able to nurse off their mom and get that colostrum, which is super, super dangerous, and if they don't get that colostrum, they won't live. So making sure you know what a selenium deficiency is and then how to treat it. So you can go get a paste. They come in like a little tube, and you feed them less than like a fingernail, like 1 cc I think it is, depending on like how big your goat is. We have Nigerian Dwarf, so we do have a smaller size goat, but just a little bitty drop of selenium, within a couple of hours they're jumping and bouncing around. This little guy that's actually walking to me now, a couple months ago had a selenium deficiency, and now he's, I think, one of the biggest ones out of them all. And hence his name being Bambi. It was because he couldn't stand. And within like an hour, he was jumping around, feeding off his mom, and back to being a typical baby goat. So knowing what a selenium deficiency was definitely crucial to us, and I hope that that kind of helps you guys as well. So those are just kind of the tips and tricks that really helped us. And I really just kind of enjoy giving you guys a bit of an update on where we're at, and kind of giving you an update on our kidding season as it kind of comes to a close. But next year we plan on breeding 6 females, so hopefully we kind of double the amount of babies that we had this year. And if you guys have any other questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. And I think that's all I got today.